Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So today we are from group 2 and we will present about industrial economics with a title Characteristic of Structure Conduct Performance for Industrial Banking in Indonesia. So before we start, I will introduce our member of this group. First, me, Rizky Maulana, and second, Arta Rizky Fadilah. Third has Lara Nomi. Fourth has Fatin Muhammad Syafiq. Fifth has Ataya Satya Amira. And the last is Wildan Raka Pradana. First is market structure. To determine the industrial, monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic, and free market competition, we should determine the market structure. First has quantity of sellers. Second, product. Third has price decision. Fourth has barrier to entry or exit, and the last is CR4 and HHI. Quantity of seller. If you see this slide, this is the pie chart of how many sellers or firm sell the service, because this is we explain about the banking industry. So this is the firm of bank. The total of a conventional bank in Indonesia is 110 bank, consists of Bank Persero, Bank Pembangunan Daerah, kantor cabang bank asing, and bank swasta nasional. If you see the chart, Bank Persero has 4% from 110 bank, and Bank Pembangunan Nasional has 25% from 110 bank, and Bank Swasta Nasional has 63% of 110 bank, and kantor cabang bank asing has 8% of 110 bank. The next slide is a product. As we know, banking industry have two market differentiation. First, market for deposit. Second, market for credit. Product offered are also divided into two, but almost every banking company have a same product or homogeneous. For example, we took three top of bank has a large market square. First has BRI. In the BRI, bank product of deposit has deposit rupiah, deposit falas, etc. And for credit market has credit card, KPR, kredit kendaraan bermotor, etc. And in Mandiri, in product of deposit has tabunganku, deposit rupiah, deposit falas, simpanan pelajar, and bank product of credit, Mandiri has kredit kendaraan bermotor, kredit multiguna, KPR. And the same with BCA. So we can took the conclusion is each bank of three of bank BRI, Mandiri, BCA has the same product. That makes difference is interest rate and the name of the product. Same with the product of credit. They have the same product, but make it different is interest rate and the name of product.
Price decisions. Price decisions are the choices businesses make when setting prices for their products or services. And then pricing is considered part of a company's marketing strategy because it influences its relationship with customers. In addition, when prices are fair and competitive, customers will come back and increasing the profit of the business. Jadi kalau saya simpulkan, price decision ini kita tentukan ketika kita sedang membangun suatu perusahaan ya, atau suatu bisnis ya. Ini digunakan untuk menetapkan suatu harga untuk produk atau layanan kita. Kemudian harga atau price itu dianggap ya sebagai bagian dari suatu strategi pemasaran perusahaan tertentu ya. Kenapa? Karena harga ini mempengaruhi atau can influence the customers. Dalam artian ketika harga itu bersifat kompetitif, otomatis akan membuat pelanggan itu atau customer aware kepada bisnis kita dan akan meningkatkan profit pada bisnis kita. Dan ini saya ambil contoh dari industri perbankan, di mana ada suatu new policy ya from Central Bank of Indonesia, yaitu BI 7 Days Repo Rate, di mana kebijakan ini digunakan atau diberlakukan itu untuk kegiatan moneter di Indonesia agar lebih kuat. Kemudian per November 2020, Bank Indonesia itu menetapkan suku bunga acuan itu sebesar 3,75%. Di sini ada contoh dari beberapa bank, yaitu BRI, Mandiri, dan BCA. Ini diambil dari deposit interest rate dan kredit interest rate masing-masing bank ya, dimana BRI dan Mandiri itu memiliki deposit dan kredit yang sama, itu sebesar 3,5% dan 9,8%. Berbeda dengan BCA yang memiliki deposit 3,25% dan kredit interest rate itu 8,75%. Jadi berdasarkan from the example, kita dapat menyimpulkan ya bahwa for price decision of banking industry is price maker, because interest rate in banking industry is the same with reference interest rate of central bank. Jadi industri bank itu ketika menetapkan harga itu dikatakan sebagai price maker. Kenapa? Karena suku bunga industri perbankan itu tidak sama ya. Jadi tiap bank di Indonesia itu memiliki suku bunga itu yang berbeda-beda. Tetapi semua bank itu walaupun memiliki suku bunga yang berbeda-beda, tetap reference kepada interest rate dari Central Bank. Jadi acuan itu tetap suku bunga acuan Bank Indonesia. Barriers to entry and exit. We will discuss about, for the first, a barrier to entry is something that blocks the ability of a company or competitor to enter an industry. But a barrier to exit is something that blocks the ability of a company or competitor to leave an industry. Jadi di sini berdasarkan peraturan Bank Indonesia ya, tahun 2000 itu ada beberapa kriteria. Yang pertama itu could establish with permission from Board of BI Governor. Jadi ketika mendirikan suatu bank itu harus mendapatkan izin dari Gubernur BI atau Bank Indonesia. Kemudian yang kedua, the paid up capital to establish a bank is stipulated to be at least 3 triliun rupiah. Jadi modal ketika mendirikan atau membangun suatu bank itu paling minimal itu harus 3 triliun rupiah. Kemudian yang ketiga, bank only established by, atau ketika mendirikan bank itu hanya boleh oleh Indonesian citizens and or Indonesian legal entity, and Indonesian citizen and or Indonesian legal with foreign citizens and or foreign partnership. Yang terakhir itu ownership originating from foreign citizens and or foreign legal entities shall be no more than 99% of the paid up capital of the bank. Jadi kepemilikan saham ketika mendirikan suatu bank, kemudian yang mendirikan itu foreign citizens ya, atau foreign legal entities, itu tidak diperkenankan atau tidak diperbolehkan lebih dari 99% dari modal. Kemudian dari kriteria tersebut kita dapat menyimpulkan bahwa industries that are difficult for new competitors to enter may enjoy periods of good profitability and limited rivalry among competitors. Conversely, industries that are easy to enter attract new companies into the industry during periods of profitability, so rivalry among competitors can be intense. On the other hand, industries that are difficult to exit have more rivalry than industries that are easy to leave. And then we will discuss about concentration ratio. especially CR4 and HHI atau Herfinda-Hirschman Index. For the first, we discuss about concentration ratio or CR4. This is the top 4 of firm that control of market share is a tool of measurement to determine market structure from industry. Jadi CR4 ini atau concentration ratio ini itu merupakan the top 4 of firm ya, atau 4 perusahaan tertinggi yang menguasai pangsa pasar, di mana concentration ratio ini digunakan ya untuk menentukan market structure from the industry. Kemudian rasio konsentrasi itu ketika rendah dalam satu industri ya, itu justru akan menunjukkan persaingan yang lebih besar di antara perusahaan-perusahaan lainnya. Kemudian dan ini biasanya pun mengarahkan pada persaingan sempurna atau pasar persaingan monopolistik. Begitupun sebaliknya, ketika konsentrasi rasio itu tinggi, perusahaan akan mengarah pada oligopoly structure. Ya, how concentration ratio is important. Jadi kenapa rasio konsentrasi itu penting? Karena ini merupakan kuantitatif indikator ya, indikator kuantitatif tingkat persaingan atau kekuatan monopoli dalam suatu industri atau suatu perusahaan ya. Jadi semakin tingginya rasio, otomatis semakin besar pula tingkat konsentrasi. Next, about HHI or Herfindahl-Hirschman Index, assumes that reflects the distribution of the market share of the top 4 firms and the composition of the markets outside the 4 firms. In addition, HHI assigns proportionately greater weight to market share for a larger firm. Jadi kalau saya jelaskan di sini, indeks Herfinda-Hirschman ini mengukur tingkat persaingan ya dalam suatu industri tertentu. Caranya itu dengan memeriksa proporsi pangsa pasar semua perusahaan yang ada. Nah, indeks ini itu mencerminkan atau mengasumsikan sebuah distribusi pangsa pasar dan memberikan bobot kepada perusahaan terbesar, sehingga ketika itu terjadi, HHI ini merupakan suatu ukuran atau suatu perhitungan yang memang lebih baik daripada concentration ratio. Dan apabila secara lebih spesifik ya, ketika kita menganalisis HHI itu ada 3 kriteria. Yang pertama, ketika indeks kurang dari 1.500 itu dianggap sebagai pasar yang kompetitif ya. Kemudian ketika indeks berada di antara 1.500 dan 2.500, pasar tersebut dianggap dengan terkonsentrasi sedang. Dan terakhir, apabila indeks berada lebih dari 2.500, itu dianggap sebagai pasar dengan sangat terkonsentrasi. Jadi pada intinya pasar yang terkonsentrasi tersebut berarti beberapa perusahaan itu memiliki kekuatan monopoli, sehingga semakin terkonsentrasinya suatu pasar, semakin tinggi pula kekuatan monopoli dan semakin rendah pula tingkat persaingan.
Okay, in this slide we discuss a classification of concentration ratio and Herfindahl-Hirschman Index. The first is concentration ratio, we call CR4. The first is if CR4 equals 0, the market is perfect competition. And then if 0 less than CR4 less than 40, the market is effective competition or monopolistic competition. And then if 40 less than equal CR4 less than 60, the market is loose oligopoly or monopolistic competition. The fourth is if 60 less than equal to CR4 less than 90, the market is thick oligopoly or dominant firm with a competitive range. The last is 90 less than equal to CR4. The market is effective monopoly or close to monopoly or dominant firm with a competitive range. And then there is a Herfinder-Huffman index, or we call HHI. If the value of HHI less than 1000, the market is effective competition or monopolistic competition. The second is if the value of HHI 1000 less than HHI less than 1800, the market is monopolistic competition or oligopoly. And the last is if the value of HHI 1800 less than HHI, the market is oligopoly or dominant firm with a competitive range or monopoly. Okay, for the analysis, we took 12 banks in Indonesia randomly. There is BRI, Mandiri, BCA, BNI, BTN, CIMB Niaga, Bank Permata, Danamon, Maybank, Bank Bukopin, Mayapada, and Arthagraha Bank. For the first, we analyze from market for deposit. There is a DPK or dana pihak ketiga, and then there is market share and market share square. Based on journal from Jumono, we could interpretation for CR4 analysis with the value is 76.96%. The banking industry is included in thick oligopoly or dominant firm with a competitive range. And from the value of HHI is 1613.7, banking industry is included in monopolistic competition or oligopoly. Okay, the second is analysis from market for credit. We took the same bank. There is BRI, Mandiri, BCA, BNI, BTN, CIMB Niaga, Danamon, Maybank, Bank Permata, Mayapada, Bank Bukopin, and Arthagraha Bank. And we from the credit market, we can see from credit market share and market share square. Based on journal from Jumono, we could interpretation for CR4 analysis with the value is 73.71%. The banking industry is included in thick oligopoly or dominant firm with a competitive range. And from value of HHI is 1569.774. Banking industry is included in monopolistic competition or oligopoly.
Conduct. Conduct has elements such as strategic behavior, advertising, research and development, investment, and product strategy. What conduct means? According to Conchoro, assumed as a pattern of response and adjustment of various companies in an industry to achieve their goals and facing competition. In banking, we can analyze conduct in few variables such as net interest margin is the result of a reduction in interest income and interest expense compared to total assets. This variable is one of the important variables for banks because lending spread contribute 70 to 85% of the bank's total revenue. So, if there is a small change in this variable, it will affect profitability. Capital adequacy ratio is one of the banking indicators that show the ability of banks to overcome risks that arise during this business. The greater the car owned by a bank, the greater the ability of the bank in dealing with the risks that will arise. Based on PPI number 50/2030, central banks stipulate that the minimum car that must be fulfilled by the bank is 8%. If it's less than 8%, then the bank can be categorized as a bank that must be supervised intensively. And that's a little explain of conduct. Let's continue by discussing what is strategic behavior. Limit pricing strategy is a pricing strategy that actually occurs in monopoly business strategy. In its practice, a seller distributor set a very low price until it reaches below the market price. For example, in a country, Company A and Company B are two companies that produce the same product. Company A has already entered into the market for the sale of its product. After some time, Company B is ready to issue its product that are similar to product from Company A. However, apparently Company B sells the sale product very low price and has a very low profit margin. As a result, Company B will have difficulty entering the market if it issues products that are more expensive than Company A. This causes Company B to be hesitant to launch the product. A company will continue to gain customer and profits because there are no competitors in the field. Consumer or buyer of a company products also have no other choice because no other company sells such product.
Advertising, research, and development. Advertising is a means of promotion used by banks to inform everything product produced by banks. The information provided is the benefit of the product, the price of the product as well as the advantage of the product compared to competitors. The purpose of advertising promotion is to try attract and influence potential customers. Advertising is carried out with the aim of influencing rival customers to move to the bank that advertise. In this case, the target is customers who already understand and have become our customers. It is expected that other bank customers will also be affected by our warnings and of course to build the company image for the long term, both for the product produced and the company name. Product strategy. In banking, product development strategies that can be implemented are: the first one, determination of the logo and the motto. The logo is the hallmark of a bank, while the motto is the word that contains the mission and vision of the bank in serving the public. The second one is creating a brand. The purpose of using a brand is to be easily recognized and remembered. The creation of a brand must consider several factors. The third one is creating packaging. In the bank world, packaging is more defined as giving service to customers. The last one is label decision. The label explains who made it, where it was made, when it was made, how to use it, expiration time, composition of contents, and other information. Investment. Capital investment is the procurement of money by a company in order to further its business goals and objectives. In performance, we have performance, efficiency, and profitability.
Okay, this is the performance. There are three branches: the performance itself, and then the efficiency and profitability. Okay, the next is performance. We can know the performance of a company, especially banking, by looking at return on asset, ROA. ROA shows the percentage of how profitable a company assets in generating revenue. In this case, most of all, return on asset in banks has increased from 2018 to 2019, which means companies, especially banks, have increased their performance from the previous year. Okay, we can see from the data below. There is bank return on asset in 2018 and 19, and then margin and porsi besaran. The first is Bank BTN. They have a margin in minus 1.21%, and then Danamon in minus 0.10%, and then Mayapada Bank in 0.5%, and my bank minus 0.29%, and then Mandiri Bank in minus 0.14%, and then BCA Bank in 0.00%, and then Arthagraha Bank in 0.3%, and then the BRI Bank in 0.51%, and then BNI in minus 0.14%, 40%, and then the Bank Permata in 0.50%, then CIMB Niaga in 0.14%, then and the last Bank Bukopin in 0.60%. The total of return on asset in 2018 is 24.67%, and then has a decrease in return on asset 2019 in 24.36%. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is the efficiency. J.G. Garcia 2012 explained that factors that influence the level of operational efficiency of banks in general in Mexico include bank capitalization, net interest margin or NIM, return on assets ROA, non-interest expense, non-interest income, non-performing loan NPL, market share, total assets, credit, GDP growth, market capitalization, concentration level proxies using HHI, Herfindahl Hirschman Index, bank status, inflation level, and volatility in money market interest rates.